Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to No Question About That with me, Ed, and it's just me today because Adam's been called away for work. Otherwise, I'd be doing the preview with him, talking about Viktoria Plzeň versus Manchester United in the Europa League today. A really crucial tie for United for a number of reasons. First, obviously, we've lost 2 games in a row in the Premier League, together with that initial draw and a victory under Ruben Amorim. You know, it's a mixed start, isn't it? Not surprised, really. Everyone's getting used to the new system, new style of play. So it's important for that reason. Also important because United would really, really like to qualify directly in the Europa League for the knockout rounds and not have to go into a playoff, which would mean 2 extra games in February next year. So just a quick reminder before we get onto the game, Europa League group phase, top 8 qualify automatically, 8 games in the group phase. Guesstimation around 15 points to get into the top 8. United have 9. 9 through 24 play off against each other and a seeded basis to play the top 8. Also, again, seeded who you play in the next round and so on from there. So 2 wins for United would probably get us through. 3 wins would almost certainly definitely get us through. 2 wins and a draw looks good, but we're not really sure at the moment. So it's a little bit knife edge in the Europa League. And of course, that's important not only for general form and potential trophy, but for getting into the Champions League. Although English results are good enough, despite City failing, this season, that it's looking good right now as it stands for a 5th Premier League place in next season's Champions League. So that's an option, but obviously our form is so mixed, or in fact, so poor that there's no guarantee there, really. So really important for our form, really important for qualification. We'd like to win this trophy. We'd like to qualify for the Champions League. That's really important for the status of the club and also financially really, really, really desperately needed. That's for another post discussion. All right, on to the game. Viktoria Plzeň, not historically one of the top Czech sides, although in the recent years, say the last 15 years or so, they've been at the top of the Czech league standings. They played in European competitions, both the Champions League and the Europa League in recent times. In fact, they were founded in 1911, so a historic club in a historic city, and we'll get to that in a little bit, but didn't win their first Czech league title until 2011. So a newish club on the scene in European terms, at least. Played at Dusran Stadium, 11,500 people. It's very, very English in sort of style, close to the pitch, tight ground. Feels like a sort of lower league ground, really, or Bournemouth, something like that. And in the historic city of Plzen, or Pilsner in the English vernacular, home of the world-famous beer, if you're into that kind of thing. And unlike Dan, who you may have noticed on the last pod, claimed if he was going, he'd be having a glass of white wine, which he likes to do on a European away trip. Fine if you're in Nice or something like that, Dan. Not all right if you're in the home of Pilsner. But anyway, that's as an aside. So when it comes to the team, they play in 3-4-3, which is pretty unusual, I have to say, in the modern day to see 2 3-at-the-back teams facing off against each other, although Slavia Prague currently top of the Czech league by 10 points from Viktoria Plzeň, about 40 points. They've got Slavia 50, also playing 3-4-3, so maybe it's a Czech thing. Honestly, I don't know enough about the Czech league or see enough Czech league matches or any to give you an expert opinion on that one, but it's kind of interesting. They will be up against that. May counter some of the tactical weaknesses United have had in sort of wide areas. But we'll see on that one. I don't have a lot of name players or top nation players. You wouldn't really expect them to. It's quite low down the rankings in terms of the coefficients and the rankings. You ever see 21st Group's rankings of leagues or the ELO ratings or something like that. So quite a long way down the European rankings. So we wouldn't expect it to be a really high quality side or a really high quality league. That said, Pavel Suk is their is their top scorer this season, got 8 goals, 4 assists. And Matai Vidra, who you may remember from Burnley and Derby County days. So one fairly tenuous Premier League link there. From the scouting notes that I've read, and honestly, I haven't seen them play a full match at all this season, they're reasonably direct, or at least they get the ball from back to front quite quickly. They'll play with a counter. They'll try and counter-press United to some extent. I don't expect a high-pressing, gegenpressing type approach from them. So maybe we'll see something not dissimilar to the kind of patterns we've started to see under Ruben Amorim, where United have a lot of possession. I mean, it's 72% possession against Forest at the weekend, and try and soak up the counter. Those double pivot in front of the back three there to react to any counters that happen. United just didn't defend very well at the weekend, but generally speaking, tactically it worked. Will we see something similar against Plzen? Yeah, I suspect they will do that, be prepared to cede a lot of possession, even at home, and then try and counter from there. They're also apparently quite good at set pieces. Note for United, when defending zonally at corners, make sure you pick up your man in your zone. Haven't done it for 2 games in a row now. It's quite a weakness, I'd say. And given that this is 3 goals, probably best that we don't give it away. They also have a really good record at home, Plzen. So they've won 7 out of 8 at home this season, and marry that to United. Well, honestly, dreadful away records in the last couple of seasons, especially in Europe. And then that's a little concerning. I mean, after the last victory away from home in the Europa League, that had been over a year, 350 something days since the previous victory away from home. And in recent years, we've seen quite a few really damagingly bad results away from home. So, if you remember back to the Copenhagen game last season, or Istanbul, Başakşehir, absolutely catastrophic games against supposedly unfancied teams where United defended really badly. Now, of course, brand new manager in place, a lot of new players, so you can't necessarily draw the red thread from those games to this one. Just a warning, right? And we haven't been playing well for quite some time now. All right, on to United. So what are we going to see in this one? It's a really interesting one because, in a sense, we already have a really, really clear idea, tactically speaking, at least, how United are going to play. We're going to set up in 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1, and we'll have 2 wide wing backs, one of which will be Tyrell Malacia, who Ruben Amorim has already said will play. He certainly needs the minutes. Of the other players, let's start with the defence. I mean, I'm going to assume it's Onana because he plays pretty much every game, unless it's I think Bayindir has played twice, has he, in the League Cup? So Onana, and then it's going to be a case of managing minutes and form. So Harry Maguire needs minutes. Lenny Yoro probably needs minutes, but did he get too many at the weekend? We'll see. Matthias de Ligt looks like he could play a lot of games, and he's played 12 already this season. And Martinez really looks like he could do with a break or a rest. I don't know, he's leggy or lack of form at the moment. He just doesn't look good. He looks especially weak in the channel. And of course, channel defending is not his strong point anyway. But of course, he got beaten in the air quite catastrophically for Forest's opening goal at the weekend as well. So I suspect that Martinez may be given a break, and we may see something like Yoro, de Ligt and Maguire. Of course, Amorim is quite happy to completely change it around from week to week in the defence. Will we see Mazraoui back in the team or at wing back? I suspect, given that who we're playing, Diallo's probably going to keep his place at right wing back. Mazraoui could play instead of Yoro. Yoro has had too many minutes so far. It's just going to be a call for the data science team and Amorim's management of people's minutes, and also his understanding of teams and combinations and stuff like that. Of course, Amorim's trying to do two things at once at the moment. It's almost like a pre-season. He's trying to work out the combos and his best sort of mix of players in different positions. And you can, if you go look at the past maps, it's really interesting. The combos are there already, right? It's not been that difficult to instill into place what he wants in terms of build up through the defensive third into the middle third. It's from the middle third into the attacking third. It's a little more tricky, although United did have 31 touches in the Forest box at the weekend, so maybe it's coming. In midfield, this is an interesting one, isn't it? Because Casemiro, we haven't really seen much under Amorim, despite him, as I was just saying, managing both minutes, but also like looking to try all these different combos. I haven't seen much of him. He dropped Eriksen altogether from the matchday squad, so maybe he's signalling already that he wants to move on from that. Mainly will be a question of like, has he where's his recovery at? Right? Is he in a good place to play the weekend and then this game and then City on Sunday? Because I assume we're going to want him for that. And Uwate looks like he'd run all day, so I'm not too concerned about like his fitness levels. And I kind of want to see that combo because I feel like, and if you look into the data that Mainu is starting to show, quite a few more progressive passes. Isn't this what we've been asking for? He's got the skill set. If he's going to be the linking 8, he needs to get on the ball more often. 51 passes, I think, at the weekend. And he also needs to make a lot more progressive passes, which is not his strong point, or at least not being the thing that was asked of him under Erik ten Hag. I think if you saw him in the youth ranks, he was quite comfortable playing the ball forward. Very different football, of course, but so there. Like, let's see that partnership again. I kind of like to see it. In the front three, your guess is as good as mine, right? So we've got 8 players basically for those 3 spots: Rashford, Højlund, Garnacho, Bruno, Mount, Ahmad, although he's only ever really played at right wing back under Amorim, and Anthony. Pick, because I couldn't tell you. Maybe look out for some of those social media accounts that Alejandro Garnacho allegedly likes to let know he's in the team. We might find out on Thursday morning. Naughty boy, by the way, Alejandro, if you really have been doing that, and everyone should go check out Stephen Howson's video from earlier today on that. That is really, really naughty, and you should stop doing it, and you should apologise. It is said. Marcus Rashford reports, of course, this week suggesting that perhaps the club would be willing to sell him. I don't know. Personally, I'd find it kind of sad, really. He's an academy player. He's one of our own. He, of course, has had a very up and down career with United. Some of that's based on injury and burnout. He definitely had 2 seasons where he was impacted quite heavily by injury. But we know his ceiling's really high. It's just been really lumpy over his career. I think some of that's on him, but I don't know why. So when I say it's on him, I'm like, he has to put in the performances. Ruben Amorim said that as well, but I'm not one of these people that subscribes to conspiracy theories like he's not trying, he doesn't care, he got the big contract, he can't be bothered anymore. There's zero evidence of that. And just none. And a player who was desperate to play for United was in tears after the cup final because it meant that much to him. I think he really wants to be playing well. He's just not. Like, let's be honest. He's not played well for quite a long time. So, can Amorim get the best out of him? I'd like to think so, because there you have a player who's proven to get more than 30 goals and assists in a season. And quite frankly, to buy a player that can guarantee you that, you're spending north of 100 million in European competition now. I don't have that money, right? So all the blue checks on Twitter who are like, yeah, we can sell him, or we'll just buy him Kvaratskhelia, or we'll pick another name. Great. You pony up the money and then we'll do that. No problem. All right? Bruno, I suspect he'll be in the team. I know he came off early against Forest. It's really unusual, isn't it, for Bruno not to complete a 90? I can't imagine he'd have been happy with that. There is the game against City at the weekend. But Bruno on the ball, final third, as near to goal as possible. He's one of the most devastating creators in Europe, evidenced by more than 200 chances created last season when people, again, these fucking brainiacs on Twitter saying he was rubbish, more than 200 chances created. You go do that. All right. Sorry, rant over. Mason Mount, maybe. I couldn't believe United signed him. It didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. It still doesn't really make any sense. But if anyone's going to make sense of it, it may well be Ruben Amorim, because that dual 10, creative 10, there's another spot in the team for him, basically. And it would seem to fit his skill set really well, especially with him being such a good trigger for the press, and he's off the ball and out possession work being so good. So I don't know if he'll play in this game or not, but he's got a chance of making it at United under Amorim, that's for sure. And then up front, I mean, I think we all know that the best option here is Højlund. Rashford doesn't really like that number 9 role. Amorim has said he doesn't like it. And Xerxes he's basically a deeper player. He did play 9 or swap with Rashford a couple of games ago, didn't he? So there is an option there. We'll see. I think we're very much yet to see the best of Josh Xerxes. Not sure he's one I would necessarily have signed, but hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy on the internet, and I have as much say in his signing now as Dan Ashworth does. Sorry, Dan. All right, so that's about it for my preview. I think United will pull out a good performance on this one. In terms of the quality of the team we're playing, the stylistic fit, in terms of tactical similarity, the fact that United have just got far and away the best players, you'd expect this. I would imagine that Amorim will be looking for a reaction from his players. We want to go into that game against City feeling upbeat. 3 defeats in a row would be pretty awful. Given that City have lost 7 out of their last 10, it's relegation form from them. I would like to think we're going in great form. They are not counting any chickens for that one just yet. And by the way, we'll be back on Friday with the preview. But yeah, come on, you Reds, enjoy it. Supporters who are out there in Czechia as well. Bye now. Thanks for listening or watching.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now. You call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.